What's up, guys? It's Bax. And today I wanted to talk about, it's a new year. Didn't really feel like it was a new year. 2020 was just kind of awful for everybody, not just me. But I wanted to make a video today talking about just, I guess, where I am, uh, what I want the stream to be moving forward, goals for 2021. I kind of lost sight of goals throughout 2020, and it really reflected in my consistently inconsistent stream schedule. And I know it's probably let you guys down a little bit, that I've just not really streamed, and that I haven't, been playing as much, and I don't really do much with Apex. And I've spent this last little bit of time playing games that brought me joy. Specifically, I've been playing a bunch of Oblivion recently, for example, because it just is nostalgia for me when I was like 12 years old, and I played so much of that game, and I've been just kind of reliving through it. And I just want to kind of open up about some stuff because, like, if this isn't something you want to watch, I totally understand. It's just gonna be me talking about my life and how I got into streaming. Um, I've spoken about some stuff now, but obviously my audience is bigger than it's ever been. So I kind of want to give an explanation. Whether or not it's a good one doesn't matter. But I just want to talk about some stuff. I think it'll actually make me feel a little bit better to talk about stuff. And then, where I want to go. Because I've been kind of in a limbo for the last couple of years of my life. And, it's led to just a deep depression, essentially. And I don't want this video to be super depressing. I want it to be more of like hopeful, of moving forward in the future, of where I want my content to go, where I want my streaming to go, and where I want my life to go. I just turned 25, and it brought up a lot of questions within myself that I had to really discuss, that I had to really, introspect into myself and think about. So today's video is just going to be more of me talking. I'll have some gameplay going. But guys, I'm actually about to go live. I'm going to start really trying to consistently stream. We're in a new year. I feel like things are kind of, the whole trope. I feel like things are going to be a little bit more fresh now. So I'm going to be trying a lot harder moving forward. But I just wanted to talk to you guys about some stuff. What led me here. Why I am where I am. Why I am the way I am, I guess, in this sense. And just a little bit more about me. So maybe you can understand. If not, I totally understand that too. But either way, without further ado, let's just hop into it. And I hope you guys are having a good day, man. I hope you guys' holidays were great. I hope, 2021, it's got to be better than 2020. Like, if 2021 is worse than 2020, we're all fucked, as far as I'm concerned. So, without further ado, let's just get into talking about it. Again, this is going to be a lot of rambling. But I think it might give you guys a little bit of insight on, who I am and what my goals will be for streaming, what I want streaming to be for myself, why I got into streaming to begin with, and, how I want it to affect my life, if that makes sense. And this is going to be a very off the cuff video. Just wanted more talk with you guys, see maybe how you guys are feeling. Obviously, 2020 was garbage. So it was really just not good for anyone's mental health. It was kind of just garbage in general for everyone. But for me, I graduated high school and then I went to college. So at the end of about the like a little bit after the middle of 2018, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in business management, which, funnily enough, I chose because at the time I was a raid leader of a World of Warcraft guild. And we were slightly competitive. I mean, we weren't the best in the world, but that was really when I started realizing how much I loved management, leadership, the administrative aspects of teams. And I could take what I learned from World of Warcraft leadership and apply it to real life leadership situations that had to do with my degree. So I was able to use it during class, and I was able to use it during my projects and whatnot to, I guess, better understand some stuff. And that was always what I loved to do. I also love like a coaching aspect. I think that's something that I'm pretty decent at. But that's why I love doing that with the Coach Caustic stuff, because I like doing that. I know that I'm good at relaying information to people, and I'm good at sitting down and talking about things. Sometimes I probably talk too much. If you ask me what time it is, I'll probably tell you how to build a watch. And I understand that about myself. And something I definitely learned in my classes and things that I wanted to do is like learning how to bolster your weaknesses. You focus on keeping your strengths strong, and your weaknesses, you want to bolster them up. So, coming to the end of my time in college, I was really depressed because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and there's that. It's kind of a daunting feeling of like, damn man, I can do anything I want, but I don't know what that is. And I was like, okay, well, one frustrating thing as well when you graduate, really with any degree, unless you have a very specialized degree that like during the program you get put into stuff. Like I didn't. It's a whole other can of worms. But basically, my advisor was someone that I looked up to and I thought was going to help me find a job after school, and he kind of just turned out to be an egomaniac. And I'm not going to blame everything on that, right? I'm not one to do that, but it was just very unfortunate and kind of frustrating for me to see like the kind of politics I would have to deal with in my line of work. I really didn't want to. I didn't really want to deal with that. So after I graduated, I told my mom and dad, hey, I'm going to take like 2 months to just literally do nothing. I'm just going to play video games all day, relax, and just enjoy having, finished. I had just gotten done with school. The last year is really busy. I had exams constantly, papers, just work I had to do. So I was like, I'm just going to take 2 months off, and then I'll start looking for a job, which in and of itself is very stressful because you send out your resume to all these people, to all these businesses, and you're more than likely not even going to get a call back. You're more than likely like not going to hear anything. And for somebody like me, that's frustrating because if I'm doing something wrong, I want to know what I'm doing wrong so that I can fix it moving forward. And when there is no feedback given to you at all, other than maybe on a small chance them telling you that you did not get the position you applied for, it's just rough for somebody like me because I want to know what I'm doing wrong. I want to know how to fix it. And so when I was going and I was looking for jobs, it was kind of demoralizing. I looked after I graduated. As I said, I took the 2 months off, and then I was living with my mom at the time, and it was around October when I had been looking for a job now for about 3-4 months. I had been sending out applications. I had been sending out my resume, to a bunch of different places trying to get a job when Hurricane Michael hit. And Hurricane Michael, something that I didn't really even come to terms with, something that had affected me so much in my life, other than the obvious. When Hurricane Michael hit, it was like a record-setting hurricane that hit where I live in Florida. And it definitely fucked with me a lot, to put it simply. We told my grandmother to come stay with my mom while we were going to weather the storm because we knew it was going to be a bad storm, but everything we had heard, everything we had seen was saying that it was not going to be hitting where we lived. It was actually going to be hitting where my grandmother lived. So we were like, okay, you bring your stuff here, and then when it's over, it'll be kind of annoying. We won't have power for a few days, but then we can get all your stuff situated. So it turns out that the storm shifted as it hit land, so they didn't know that, and it also was a Category 5 hurricane, which is the highest that it can be. So we sat basically in my mom's house for about 3 hours. I thought I was going to die, and I don't really like talking about it like that. Like I'm trying to make it sound worse than it is because that's not really the type of person that I am. During it, I was scared. My mom was terrified. We could feel the walls around us, kind of like. It looked like the walls were breathing because the wind was so strong. And while we were hiding in the bathroom, and that's normally what you do during a tornado. And a tornado is really fucking scary, but it only lasts for a certain amount of time. It goes right over you, destroys everything, and it keeps going. Well, this hurricane was like a slow motion tornado. So for 3 hours, we sat in the bathroom, just hearing the wind howling, and it ripped the roof off of my mom's part of her bedroom. So when I would walk out of the bathroom to check on things, the hole was getting wider and wider in her bedroom. Then in the living room, a hole ripped through, and that was getting wider and wider. And I just remember thinking, like, I'm going to die. This is it. Like, I just graduated college. I haven't done anything yet, and I worked, basically my whole life going to school so that I could eventually do something. And now I'm just gonna fucking die, and I haven't done anything. And I still have it. I messaged my friends on Discord. Obviously, at this point, all of the cell phone towers around where we lived were destroyed, so there was no service. But I just typed in like, "Boys, love ya. I don't think I'm gonna make it." And I truly thought I was about to that it was it. And I figured, at some point my phone will move somewhere, it'll pick up service, and then that message will get sent out, so my friends can at least see that before I'm dead, and they can at least see that I said goodbye. Um, and that's something that really affected me, and I didn't really think about it because I tried to just ignore it. But I remember after it ended, we had some neighbors coming around to ask, like going door to door to make sure everyone was okay. And I just remember sitting down in my room, and the place that I felt, so safe in, it wasn't safe anymore. We had holes ripped in the roofs, no electricity. So the inside of the house was soaked at this point because my mom's double doors to her backyard had blown open and water had gotten in everywhere, and it just ruined everything. And I just remember I sat down and I started crying. I was just like, all of that kind of the pressure of everything that had just happened, the trauma, I guess. I started crying. I remember it was fucking. I just was like relieved that it was over. And I didn't really understand, I guess, how much it had affected me for about a year, until just about a year ago. I really understood, because I had started doing, like self-medicating essentially to feel better. I started smoking to stop anxiety, doing drugs, and obviously, guys, that does not help. So don't do that. If you're feeling bad about stuff, doing drugs and developing addictions to drugs, it doesn't help you. It just adds. It adds to. It just adds on top of that, the problem. So anyway, to get away from that topic, I remember before the hurricane, I had showed my mom a clip of Shroud on like Instagram or something, and she was like, "Well, why don't you do that? Why don't you stream? Because you play video games all the time anyway. Every time I went to my mom's house, I was just gaming." So she knew, and she's known since I was a kid I was a gamer. She was always the one buying the games for me. And I was just like, "Mom, it's not that simple. You don't just like stream. You don't just become Shroud because you game. Like, that's not how it works. And plus I'm going to school. I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to go get a job and blah, blah, blah. So like, I won't really have time to game anymore." So once the hurricane hit and destroyed her house, it had also destroyed my grandmother's house. So I was like, okay. And it also destroyed all of the places that I was applying to work at. So months of me sending out my resume was all for naught, because all the places that I was working were closed due to damage, or just because they had been fully destroyed and needed to be rebuilt. So I was just basically reset. And so then I was like, okay, I will take this. I have to take some time to, like, family is very important to me. So it wasn't a question for me to be like, oh, I'm going to help my family. That's just what I did. I was like, okay, I'm going to stick around, stay with my grandma, stay with my mom while they fix their houses up, get them rebuilt, help them with whatever they need. And then once that's done, and I know that my family's taken care of and safe, because obviously I don't have any money. So like the way I can contribute helping things is just moving stuff around, helping, being around if they need things. My mom, my grandma, especially, they're old ladies, like not my mom, but my grandma, the old women. So like I help them out. Like I'm their son. That's what I'm supposed to do to be a good son, to be a good grandson. So I did that, and then I started streaming somewhere in the mix, because my mom had said that to me, and then my mom said, "You know what? While we're doing all this rebuilding and stuff, why don't you try streaming? It could be something you do. Maybe you end up loving it. Maybe you end up, it can be your job." And that had never crossed my mind. I had never thought about doing it seriously, and I never was able to do it when I was in college because I never had a good enough computer. But for graduation gift, my dad got me the PC that I use now, which was more than capable of streaming. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll give it a shot. So I started streaming, and with my first year of streaming, I really got nowhere. But a lot of that had to do with, because of how I am as a person, I started just to watch other streams. Twitch was never really a medium that I consumed. It was not a type of content that I watched. Because when I start watching somebody playing a game, I just want to play a game, and I don't like watching a stream while I'm playing a game. So I'm just always gaming. I don't want to, I don't want to be distracted from my own gaming. And when I watch someone playing a game that looks fun, I'm like, I want to go play that because that looks fun. So I didn't really know the Twitch landscape. I still really don't to this day, if I'm being honest. But I didn't really understand how to grow. I didn't really understand anything. And so I started watching other streamers. That's what I did when I played World of Warcraft. That's what I do in my life. I emulate people who are successful because they are successful for a reason. I'm not going to try to make my own way through something when there are people who have proven to do something in a way that is successful. Now, I'm not saying I just copy people and just take from what other people do, because you can't really even do that on Twitch. You know, you have to be your own person. You have to be your own, you know, you have to be your own entertainment. You have to bring something to the table as a streamer to make people want to watch you, or as any kind of entertainer. So I spent the first year watching streams and kind of learning while I was still attempting to stream on my own. And I fell into that just stream all the time. Like, even if you have 0 viewers, just stream. It's the grind. And that's just a terrible, horrible, like, piece of advice I see given a lot to people. Like, you gotta just stream. That's not true. A lot of my, albeit small, success has come from YouTube and from garnering an audience from YouTube. And it's because I, instead of spending all my time just streaming to 0 people, I would edit and make videos, because that was a better form of content to bring people in. And I said this before, but I had played a bunch of Apex at this point, and you know, I didn't really stream or make videos when I pushed Pred Series 1, and then when I pushed Pred Series 2, I know I had clips on it, and that's what I used to make my Caustic guide, because I was one of the first people on PC. This is before cross-plat. I was one of the first people on PC to play Caustic at a really high level. So I was going to quit. As I said, I've said this before, I was about done. I was going to quit. I was going to quit trying to stream. I was going to quit YouTube content creation, which was pretty bare at that point anyway. And so I made my Caustic guide. And it was a blessing in disguise, because that's where most of you guys came from. That's where most of my audience was even garnered from, was because of my first Caustic guide, which is at right now like 26,000 views. And for me, that just blows my mind. Like, 26,000 people have seen something I made, and then now consistently when I make videos, people watch it. Like, there's a group of people that watch videos that I make, people that have my videos on notification. Like, that's crazy to me, and I never really expected that. And I thank you guys, and I always want people to know that I thank all of you for, you know, watching my content and consuming it, because that blows my mind. Like, I do not think I'm this, you know, God's gift to earth. It blows my mind to this day that people watch what I have to put out, and that's still crazy to me. So I was gonna quit, as I said. Then that happened, and I was like, okay, now I have a chance. You know, all of the work I've put into Apex has not been for nothing. So even if I hadn't wanted to quit, COVID happened, right? That happened for everybody. COVID stopped everyone's lives in their tracks. So on top of the kind of mental stress I was already under dealing with the stuff that I went through with the hurricane, and trying to understand my feelings towards why I felt so bad about that, you know, my depression was already there previously, you know, throughout college, kind of just like an emptiness of, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what my point is living on this earth. What am I doing here? What am I going to do? That was exacerbated by the bad feelings of, like, almost thinking I was going to die. And now I'm living with my mom and grandma. And it's like, you know, at the time, it's like I'm 23, I live with my grandma and my mom. And then I'm 24 and I live with my grandma and my mom. And now I'm like, I'm 25 and I still live with my grandma and my mom, making very little amounts of money. So, and again, it's, you know, I don't stream. I didn't get into streaming just to only make money. But you got to be realistic. At some point, I have to be able to live on my own. I have to be able to save money. I have to be able to make some. So I'm like, okay, I have to now focus on how do I grow this to get to a point where I'm able to do that. And throughout 2020, my mental health basically just crumbled. It just collapsed. My sleep schedule was non-existent. Something I did throughout all of high school and all of college that I really liked and was passionate about, which was working out. I would go to the gym. I would go to the natatorium, which is the pool at the university I went to, and I was in really good shape. And that just all crumbled. I have just, you know, I hate that, because I got bored of working out. I just lost passion for everything, man, and it was rough. And like Apex kind of sparked that for a bit, and then you guys know how outspoken I am with Apex, but at some point it's like it's not my problem. It's not my job to figure out what Apex needs to do to fix the game. I'm not being paid to sit around figuring out how they could fix their game. And that can just be debilitatingly crushing to your mental health if you're constantly worrying about something that's out of your control. And it's easier said than done to be like, "Oh, don't worry about things you can't control." Well, I'm still gonna worry because it's my bread and butter. This is the game I play all the time. If I start playing some other game, my viewership, which is already low, is gonna drop to basically nothing, or just like a handful of people. And then how long are those people gonna stick around when there's no one else to sit and chat with and talk to? So it's a scary thing, and being a streamer and like a content creator, it's a 24-hour job. A lot of relatives, they don't understand what I'm doing. Most people don't understand what I'm doing, and I think my mom and grandma for being so open with letting me try this. And my mom, again, as I said, it was her idea, and I appreciate that. And I think that, like, I thank them so much for it, because they're like, look, you can live here for free while you chase your dream. And I feel like I've been letting them down too, by not really streaming and by not really doing what I need to do. And a lot of that has to do with my depression and how debilitated I was, just not wanting to get up, just laying in bed for 12, 14 hours, just sleeping and going back to sleep over and over, even though I could have gotten up, because I was just like, I just would rather be asleep than be awake and have to face life. And it's just been like this for so long. It was to the point where I was just like, I don't really know, like, it got to the point where I was just like, I could be dead and it wouldn't matter. Like, I'm doing nothing. The only people in my life who would be upset about this are my mom and my family. And then even then, like, after a while, they would die, and then it would just, who cares? It'd be gone. And then again, this is crushingly depressing, and that's not how I want to live my life, and that's not how I want to be. So just recently, I haven't really been streaming, and I've not really been thinking about it, and I've been focusing all of my being on my mental health and getting healthy again and getting back to where I need to be physically and mentally, because I let all of that just crumble around me. So, and to me, it's like, it's kind of sad when my job is to play video games and I don't even have the fucking energy to play video games. It's like, I can't let that happen. And another thing about me is I'm like a homebody. I'm a very introverted person. Now that doesn't mean that I'm afraid to talk. I got easy grades in public speech classes. I could give a speech in front of 10,000 people, and it just doesn't affect me. It doesn't bother me. I'm not somebody who is afraid to speak in front of people. Hence why I stream. But when I stream, when you're streaming and you're sitting in front of the camera and people are watching your every move, it is a stressful job. It is like, it's something that, and I'm not going to sit here and just cry the whole time about like, oh, my life's so hard. That's not what I'm trying to say here at all. But it is stressful, and, introverted people, they gain their energy by being alone, basically. Like, if we're going to boil it down to the very baseline of like introvert versus extrovert. Introvert, they recharge their batteries when they're alone, and extroverts recharge their batteries when they're around people. But in general, there is still a balance that needs to be struck. And, COVID has fucked that up for everybody. You just can't really go out. Like, I haven't hung out with somebody my age in real life in like 2 years, 3 years. I haven't. And it's never been something that was a huge deal for me, but I got it enough every once in a while for it to like balance things out. But now it's like I just sit in my room all day, even when I'm not working. Like, where I work is where I play. And that just kind of got, it got to the point where it was just draining me. I just didn't want to do anything. And again, not healthy, not what I want. So I've been combating this myself, and I really want to fix it in 2021. I have an audience. I have a group of you guys that, and again, thank you guys so much. You guys come through my streams every time I'm streaming. You guys come and talk with me, and I don't know where I'd be without you guys. I really do appreciate that. People come in all the time and they apologize, like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm saying hey. Like, you never have to apologize for that. And I say it on stream, and I'll say it now again. Like, you guys are just coming in and being like, hey, I wanted to say hello to you. That means so much. You do not understand. You never have to apologize for that. So in 2021, I want to focus on my physical health. I want to get back into working out. I actually have just, again, recently started just jogging, just something to start it. I'm gonna start lifting when I can. Once the gyms open back up, and I feel safe, to go out. Everyone's vaccinated or whatever. I want to, get back into lifting weights again and just being healthy physically, because I always said it for years. Like, to be a good gamer, you need to be in good physical shape, and a lot of people don't think that because they're like, oh, you're just gaming. You don't need to be physically in shape. Well, you do, because when you're in good physical condition, it helps your mental state, and you have to have a healthy mental state to be good at playing games. And there's a lot of stress that comes with being a streamer, especially when you're known for being good. When you're having an off day, it kind of sets you off worse than any other time, or any other, like, if you're just gaming and you're having a bad day, you can just turn it off. But when you're streaming, it's not that simple. And I've really neglected my actual stream and actually streaming. And again, that's something I wanna change. I've stayed pretty consistent with making YouTube videos, and I don't make any money for my YouTube videos. I don't have it monetized because I want to put in music I want to put in. I want to curse. I want to do what I want with my YouTube videos. I don't want to have to feel like I'm pigeonholed into having to follow these guidelines that YouTube has that are just ridiculous. So they're not monetized. It's just a way for me to gain traffic for my stream and to put out content I think would be fun for people to watch. I like watching my videos. Maybe I'm a narcissist, but I feel like if I don't enjoy my own videos, how would anyone else like them? At the very least, I have to like my own videos. And there are enough people watching them so I can think like, okay, I'm doing something at least kind of okay if people are coming in and watching my videos. So in 2021, I've had a rough outline of my stream schedule, and I've been thinking about it a lot, and I'm going to commit to one, because I have to be making enough money and have grown enough by like mid to the late 2021 to continue doing this, or I know I'm going to have to quit, and I'm going to have to go get a job with my degree, and I'm going to have to go do something, even if it's just like a 9-to-5 job, whatever. I'm going to have to do that because I have to be able to support myself. I can't be doing this anymore. And again, this isn't me sitting here crying, and this isn't me like begging for anything. Like, I'm gonna put in the hard work and the effort. And I've never been someone who's been afraid of hard work. I've never been someone who's been afraid to do what I need to do to succeed. And that's just gonna continue. I've been in a slump, and honestly, I feel hopeful in the future that like I'm out of the slump, and I'm going to be, fighting the mental demons that I might have, and the addictions that I had incurred, and I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to get my physical health back to where I want it to be, and that in turn is going to help me get my streaming back to where it's going to be, and I want to be somebody that people can watch and look up to, and be like, he's good in the game, but also outside of the game. You can't really have somebody who's like, oh, he's really good at Apex, but, he's a slob, he's fat, and he's a drug addict. Like, you can't look at that and be like, oh, cool. So going into 2021, I am going to be working on myself inside and outside of streaming, and inside and outside of the games. I have definitely had fun doing streams where I just watch videos with you guys, and I definitely have fun playing other games. But on that note, the reason why it's like, if I'm streaming something that's not Apex, my viewership is going to dip. And that is a demoralizing feeling. When you went from having no viewers to having even just a handful, and then that goes back to 0, that is a bad feeling. It's not a good feeling. And it just comes with the territory. But when I was already in this depressed state, it did not help my mental health at all. But I think now, because I'm going to take the steps needed to strengthen that, I'm going to be able to, it will not affect me as much. And I do want to do that. I've had lots of you guys say, hey, you should play this, or you should try that. And I've wanted to, but because of those things I just said, it made it to where I didn't want to do those things. So I'm going to, I'm going to be working on myself, and I'm going to be working on my stream a lot this year to make it deserved. I want to deserve your guys' views. I want to deserve your guys' support, and I want to grow and see where we can go with Apex, where I can go with any other game that I decide to play. I've been playing a lot of Oblivion, as I said, and I think it'd be fun to just screw around sometime and play, make a new character on Oblivion that you guys helped me make, and then it just be dumb and just do dumb shit in it. Maybe play a game of Skyrim for a little bit, and not just consistently play it or always play it, but I just want to have fun with the stream, and I want to bring you guys something fun that you can watch and enjoy, and that's the main thing for me moving forward, is that I want to work on my content. I want to work on, as a job. I want it to be my job, and I want to keep continuing to chase this dream, which you guys have really helped me fulfill, but I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm not going to let it affect me so badly if, my views are up or down or this or that, and I'm not going to think about it. I know I got a group of you guys that are always supportive of me, and I'm going to just continue riding off of that positivity, and I'm going to do my best to ignore or at least understand the negativity and move past it, because I can't let this keep crushing me, and you guys have given me an opportunity here that not a lot of people get, and I'm damned if I'm going to take that for granted. So, again, might have seemed like this was like really depressing, but I don't want it to seem that way. I am going to be busting my ass off this year to make sure that I am not letting myself slip back into those bad habits. I'm not letting myself slip back into this thinking constantly of negativity, and I want to move forward with how I used to be in my life, and just be a happy person, and be be somebody who enjoyed waking up and enjoyed gaming and enjoyed not worrying about things that I can't control all the time. And I truly think that that's going to happen. And I think that 2021 is going to be a huge up from the downhill that 2020 was. And that even in a lot of cases, for me personally, 2019 and the end of 2018 was. And I really think that I've been kind of just going down on this roller coaster for the last few years, and it has fucking beaten me. Just beaten me down. And that's it, though. Like, I'm done. I'm going. We're climbing. We're like climbing the fun part of the roller coaster now, and that's the way I see it. And I'm not seeing it any other way. And I'm just gonna beat the hell out of any kind of negative things that I have, and move forward, because I know that I'm strong enough to get through this shit. And I know that I have what it takes to be successful as a streamer. And I'm done doubting myself. And I'm moving forward. And I'm kicking 2021's ass. And I'm going to be making the content, and I know you guys will hold me up to it. So, I'm really looking forward to it. Again, I know this was a really rambly video. If you guys made it to the end, I appreciate you. I'll probably see you in the streams. I know you guys, if the people who watch this through will probably bring stuff up to me to talk about in streams or comment, so I'll know who watched it. And if you did, I really appreciate you. If you just if you're just somebody who watches my videos and you don't watch my stream, that's totally fine too. I still appreciate that, man, and it means a lot to me. So I'm gonna get this out, and then I'm gonna start stream for the day, and then over the next week I'm gonna really figure out what my stream schedule will be, and by God, I'm gonna stick to that shit, because if I don't, then I will have just failed what I said already, and I can't let that happen. So big things are coming for your boy Bax here, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited for everything moving forward, and a lot of stuff with Apex I'm really excited about. I don't know if I'll ever be pushing like top tier ranked anymore, but I still want to be as good as I can be and look for other games to play that I think I would enjoy playing. So again, guys, thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you guys either on stream or I'll see you in the next video. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you.